So I've seen quite a few posts, people asking questions how to strain your mash either before or after fermentation. And I thought I'd put together a quick video showing how I do it. Maybe give some of these people asking this question an idea how it can be done. So basically I have a 5-gallon pail with a brew bag in it, and I have this screen I put over top to get the bigger stuff. I'll leave links in the description down below to all this stuff. Now if you're using a 5-gallon pail or something that's easy to dump, you could just dump it in. This fermenter is a little big and awkward for doing that. So you can see this works pretty well. Most of the grains have settled down to the bottom. It's just a little bit of the barley up here at the top. I could use a siphon to siphon most of it out, but I think this works just as easy and just as quick. You might see a little steam coming off. This is just finished up fermenting. It's still about 75 degrees, but I'm out on the back deck where it's just about 30 degrees out. I tend to make a mess, so I like to do it out here on the back deck. This composite decking, you can just hose off and clean up your mess rather than have the upset wife and having to mop the kitchen floor. So this is what I'll do until I get down towards the bottom, then I'll dump the rest out, and I will save a little bit of the yeast that's on the bottom to add to the next batch. I find it's much easier to strain all this out after fermentation. First couple batches I did, I strained it first. You get a lot of the, almost like a gelatin, and it plugs up the brew bag and makes quite the mess. So I find that if I do it after fermenting, the brew bag doesn't get plugged up quite as easy. Then I got a 5-gallon pail over here to dump the grains in. This screen is nice because it sits right down top of the 5-gallon pail. Doesn't fall in, holds itself there nicely. And I don't have hardly anything in the brew bag yet, but I haven't reached the bottom of the fermenter yet either. I'll leave a, like I said, I'll leave a link in the description down below for all this stuff, the brew bag and the netting, or the screen on top. And I'll let these cold crash a little bit, separate the yeast. And back to dipping I go. If you're wondering, this is a cracked corn, some cornmeal, and see a few chunks of, I had some potatoes laying around. I thought, I'll just throw them in there for a little extra sugar. Of course, high temperature amylase to convert all the starches. That's just to help out the malted barley. I'll probably fast forward through a bunch of this because I don't know if anybody wants to just sit here and watch me dip wash out of a fermenter for an hour. I can start to see them getting down into the corn, and you'll notice the starting to plug up the screen a little bit. This is where it starts to slow down quite a bit because it will plug it up quite a bit. And you'll see the grains start to plug up the screen. I've got to go get a rubber scraper and I'll show you how I take care of that. So as the screen starts to get plugged up, you just slowly scrape the grains back. You can hear the wash starting to filter through. Doesn't take a lot, just a little patience. Some people might want to just dump the rest and waste it, but I prefer not to. These fermenters are nice. I believe they're 14 gallon maybe. I usually only put about 9 or 10 in there, giving me plenty of headroom for in case it foams up a little bit. They're not airtight. They do leak a little between the two different colored plastics. I suppose if you really wanted an airtight seal, you could always caulk this seam in there. They have a nice screw lid and they're flat spots so you can drill holes for your airlock. And then I have seedling soil heater that I taper on the outside edge, and that temperature probe can go right down in through a different rubber bung. Just keep working the grains up the side. It'll filter out. There's probably a whole bunch of unfermentable starches and sugars down in here. I usually get pretty good conversion rate of starch to sugar, but as everybody knows, nothing's perfect.
Street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster,
Yeah, this is where it gets really slow down at the bottom. But if you're patient, it'll all drain out. Get a little closer look here. If you just scrape it back a little bit, it runs down through. Just let gravity do the work. So hopefully that helps somebody get an idea of how to strain your mash when you're doing all grain. I shouldn't say that. This isn't all grain. It does have some sugar to boost the specific gravity up. But like I said, there will be links in the description down below to the the screen, the brew bag, fermenters, my heater, everything, whatever you need. Just check the description down below and there'll be links, affiliate links down there. If you have any questions, comments, just leave them down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.